Monday, everyone, and welcome to Festival. I am joined by our two lead teachers for creative writing. I have a couple of reminders before we get started. A reminder about no water bottles, no food, no phones during Festival. Also have a reminder to our parents and families, if you are signing your child out after Festival, please do so in the main office. We have an exciting week of Festival. Today we're getting things kicked off with creative writing. Tomorrow we have our artists in residence, the Knights, and the rest of the week we have some wonderful performances from our music studios. I'm gonna pass things over to our two lead teachers, Brett and Lopu, who's gonna introduce their studios and talk about how imagination has played a role in their students' writing this summer.
Thank you, Jay. Hi, everybody. My name is Brett. I am the creative writing minor instructor. There's a lot of applause over there. I'm in W3, if any of you know. Doing creative writing, right, of working on things such as movies, TV shows, novels, plays, songwriting. All the things that we enjoy on a daily basis start with imagination. They all start with someone having an idea, right? In creative writing, imagination is our playground, and I'm really, really excited to share with you what we've been working on.
Hi, my name is Lopu, and I am in W1. I'm also a lead creative writing teacher as well. In my class, we talk about radical imagination, and we answer the question, what does it mean to exist in a world where there are no restrictions on what you can do, and what it means to build the world that we want to create and that we want to have that doesn't already exist right now, and how we can do that.
And now, please make some noise for our creative writers.
Drowning, the waves above crashing, bashing, the floor below beckoning, the exhausted soul sinking, a silent shoal swimming past, a final flutter of the eyes, a final flail of the limbs, and a final inhale, allowing the ocean in.
My name is Apani Kafele, and this is Anything, Everything We Touch is Ours. I am of many things. I am of the Southern way they cut up words like stripping meat off bone, keeping what they want and throwing out the rest. I am of the quick-spitting way that me and my friends speak, our voices filled with heady laughter, what we mean and what we say bump into one another mid-sentence, bumbling with that kind of city kid confidence, searing a path through a grimy sidewalk on the very top of the world. I run with the kids with little control of where their legs take them. We are of the wild things, the soft things, the hot things. We belong to it all. We belong anywhere. We touch it and it's ours. What kind of nonsense would it be to disavow it or feel shame? Like you aren't from anywhere, so no one will mind if they take you. We must show up in every room with a city on our back, a block in our step, and a people in our cocky smile. We cut through crowds like Moses through a Red Sea or a roaring dirt bike down the road. You cannot miss us, and they will miss us when we're gone. And you already know what we look like. It's on my back, in my step, and in my smile.
Hello there, my name's Ethan, and I wrote a poem called I Just Can't Do It. I just can't do it. I want to make a game. I want to be an academic achiever, a one-man army that can challenge all the problems in the world, but I just can't do it. I start my first step of making a game, then the next day, leaving it. I try to help, but I never do anything about it. I have a choice that I am unable to make. I have an idea that I won't be able to create. I try so hard not to procrastinate, but still, I just can't do it. It takes one Discord call to end a project. Any sour thoughts that will clog my mind and keep me trapped. I wish I could fly, but I could only sit. I hope that I get a perfect score, but I be sat down to see, because I just can't do it. I make people's dreams come true, but not myself. I made virtual people's dreams come true, but not myself. I made everyone happy, except there's one missing, and that one person will always be me. I just can't do it. I try hard, but even that I can't do. I just can't do it. I hope my mind ain't screwed. I wish and wish, I dream and dream, that I will be a successful man. But I just can't do it. And even now I still can't do it. Because why? Because I just can't do it.
A Cold Starry Night.
What is as bright as all the stars at night? Nothing compares to all of their great light. They live so high up in the sky like kites, shining like armor on a silver night. I wish I could soar that high all the time. Now I'll never make it so high up. It stings to only see the sky from below. All I want is to fly all the way up. Being on the ground hurts me for all of time. I guess this is the last time I'll write, for my time awaits in the cold night sky. For you were the star in my life, my light. This will be the last time I share and write. For now, I will fade into the cold night.
This is called Calming. Why does it always happen like this? Their touch becomes a burning acid kiss. There's chills up my spine and bile in my gut. You look at me just like a filthy mud. It's falling into a pit and losing light. It only hurts to try and fight. Their anger swallows you full and whole. I feel like I'm stood on burning coal. I'm a fish inside a birdcage, a gross waltz of anger and rage. I walk away with a fire extinguished by tears, now alone with a wretched fear. Then my world is shaken with a buzz. I look down to see what it was. Nothing but my lover's hello. That's all it takes to make my face glow. Just like that, the pain is gone. Me there was someone to lean on. The suffocating dark melts away. Sinking back into my bed I lay. Like a light switch, I'm okay again. My princess here, still now since then.
This is called Stolen Identity. The woman sat on the old chair her husband had purchased for the house years ago. They were happy then. They spent the whole day in the living room watching the fireplace. Sometimes if she listened carefully, the woman swore she could still hear their laughter echoing. In a daze, she stood and slowly made her way to the kitchen. As she passed the fireplace mantel, she rested her fingertips on the ledge. Christmas, she knew, was a few weeks away. Her maids had already put up the decor, though, because they knew their lady needed some light in her life. The decorations only reminded her of the new emptiness in her home. Moving to the bedroom, she ran her fingers over the sheets. She wondered if anyone would notice if she burned the bed, the room, the whole house. She couldn't stand to be around these constant reminders of her precious love's infidelity. But as she sat on the floor with her elegant purple dress splayed around her, she stared at the photos her husband used to hide. Looking at them now, she wished she could destroy the pictures of the woman who had stolen her identity.
My name's Sophia, and I'm going to be reading a poem called The Children of Armenia.
I look at my dada's large, strong hands and see the millions of women and men who have died for our people, compared to the millions of people who have lied, who say they've helped in many ways, but in reality, reposted on Instagram and called it a day. I look at my yaya's soft and wrinkled hands, meticulously making manta, and I see in them children in a home surrounded by fire. They reach out to us, try to hold our hands, but we simply watch, leave them stranded. They scream to us, say our name, and I say it back, a soloist in the choir. I turn around and a few more stand, but their silence is deafening. The voices of the children pleading rings in my head, and suddenly they stand beside me, and we become one, and the chorus begins to run. We show and we share, but they don't understand. We stomp and we scream, but they only stare. We wave our flag and they say they care, but if they really did, then they would be there. So I'll paint myself purple and stand in a pot, if that's what it takes to forget me not.
Hello, I'm Izzy, and I will be reading my poem called Blush. I wrote myself a letter, smiling at the face in the mirror warped beyond my discretion. In my eyes are all the rebirthings of cherry blossoms and tears evaporating on summer hot days, and how the swoosh of artificial car air feels like home. My hand, still scab-mottled and crossed with pen stars, because healing isn't linear, inscribes in translucent non-paper how the world looks when my eyes lift out of their droopy cocoons and stare into this space that feels like an epiphany, like it's carved out of the eternal darkness to spare me some light. Like a new beginning, the release of a breath I didn't know I was holding, like a steady and sure curve of a U. I sign off my letter knowing the pen I'm holding could do so much more if I let it, and it will. Like the sunset's bashful blush, more real than time.
After a stony dinner, I walked the pine tree path. Someone rose from a nearby lake. She pointed to the lake, and I looked. Now I'm stuck. Seasons passed, weather changed, and I'm still here, waiting for them to come back. After many years, I'm old and gray. The lake had been drained, pine trees chopped down, path overgrown, and it's never coming back. For the first time, I stood up and left.
My name is Madeline, and I'm reading a heavily abridged version of my poem, It's Like. What is it like to be Asian American? I don't know, I say. I say because how can I tell you what it feels like to be loitering in my own body, not belonging in either of my worlds? What is it like? Being Asian American is being a foreigner, no matter where I go, when I'm not American enough because my skin is yellow and my eyes are slanted, nor am I Asian enough because I can barely speak the language of which my family comes from. It's like working hard and earning good grades and playing piano, only for everyone to shrug their shoulders because they expected it from someone like me. What is it like? It's like eating my lunch in second grade and being told my food looks gross and being embarrassed of my blood, and yet years later those same kids tell me how much they love my culture, my people. Well, I sit and I wonder why now is it different? Why now can you choose what parts of Asian you like? How can you tell me to my face that you love Korean culture, my culture, and discard the parts that don't fit into your neat little box? Where were you when I was laughed at for calling my family by their cultural names? Where were you when the kids pulled their eyes back to mock my features that were etched into my skin like a burn at birth? Like being told I'm a disease, being called slurs that came from the clanking of the railroad, being asked what my Korean name is and laughed at when they hear it, being told to go back to where I came from even though when I am standing on the very ground of where I came from. Like being told I'm not really oppressed because my culture is worshipped and I've never had to struggle, as if being the victim of violence and bloodied hands and slurs is what binds us together. What is it like? It's like coming home from school, kicking off my shoes because I can't dirty the house floors, the hurt, the shameful envy that I feel outside of my home. I will never be seen as anything but an outsider because I was born with skin that is stained yellow and bloody and not white. Because being Asian is never knowing what I feel like. Because my culture, my ethnicity, my nationality, my family and friends, it all runs through the top of my head, in through my body, my veins, and reaching the tips of my toes. What is it like? What is it like to hear the words you're supposed to be, things you're supposed to feel, but all you feel is a disconnection in your body and your mind from your culture? What is it like to be a stranger to yourself? I don't know.
Hi, my name is Maddie, and I'm reading a poem that was based off of the prompt, write write an argument against something you believe in. We are all the same, she cries, as teardrops spill from sunken eyes. We laugh, we dance, we sing, we play. What more is there left to say? Well, there are opinions, dear, and hopes, and dreams, and love, and fear. And yet you see that matters not, for in the end we all shall rot. And when we rise up to the sky, where we shall never dare ask why, the sick get sick and hungry starve, and those whose names by sculptors carve, into our minds and hearts and stones, were once all simple, lost unknowns. And that is where they all shall go, when fate does deem to us bestow a fire-fueled apocalypse, for then we shall all fall like sticks, unto the earth, into the space, where there once was the human race. So in the end, you too shall see that we're the same, both you and me.
I'm Anne, and I'll be reading a poem called Dog, inspired by my dog, Mellow. A dog pads toward the pillow of green expanse, a patch of it worn away by times past, the curves of his body complemented by the tail swaying in agreement with the gentle wind, a twitch of the nose, the breeze carries a scent from afar. His eyes close, buttonholes, as his blue-black coat takes in the comforting warm rays.
My dog inspires me. He had a bad life. He went from being a scared, nervous dog to a happy, funny dog. His whole life changed. He probably used to worry about if he would even get one meal a day. Now he probably worries about not getting enough treats. He's one of the luckiest dogs in the world. Sometimes when I feel sad or alone and I'm not with him, I look at my lock screen with him. He's the sweetest and kindest little angel. Every day I try to be more like him by persevering and never giving up. All I know is he helped me, and I like to think I helped him.
My anger, sloth, and rudeness is what I'm cursed with. What people think of me is definitely a myth. Ambition, creativity, and interest in knowledge, especially math. These traits that will eventually become my dominances will make a boring, meaningless life go by. My laziness, lack of athleticism, and wrath. The next statement is a total lie. When I look into myself deeply, I feel elated. My brain has been filled with the idea that I am forever stuck in a gloomy loophole. I didn't care when somebody stated I am a prosperous person as a whole.
When they say that every rose has its thorns, they mean that despite how good something may seem, there is always something bad lurking beneath it. However, are roses' thorns really evil, or are they just there to protect the petals of the flower's bud? Are they just guards meant to protect against those who try to harm it? Centuries that were branded villains when someone came too close? Was the blood spilled because of wickedness, or was it just a misunderstanding?
Past the yellow pastures, past the grazing cows, past the leaping dogs, lives an old lady. She sits in her rocking chair content with the world. She has no worries about what might come. Everyone envies her because they know what she has found. She has found true peace with life itself.
Nature sways wild in the wind, collapsing beneath our feet. Despite its resilience, melting like a mere scoop of ice cream. No matter how many try to prevent it, twice as many people aim to kill their dreams. As I stand in my fading forest, my gorgeous willows weep.
This is our short story in 2 parts, told through letters between you stand friends.
Letter from the U.S. to Sarah. Hey, it's always a party here in the USA. Well, I've been okay. The skies have gotten darker since you left, but I still apply sunscreen every day. How's life in Paris? You snuck away like a smooth criminal. You left me alone with these people? How am I supposed to just shake it off? Just kidding. But really, are you coming back? Because I have no tears left to cry. We should talk. It's been a while.
Letter from France to Dar. It has been a while, huh? Bonjour, oui, oui. Forget it, no more French. You've been missed by your friend overseas. Don't fret, don't fear, don't forget to apply sunscreen. Have fun at USDAN. Make memories for the rest of your life. I've gone to Paris on my parents' business trip. Briefcase in hand, we took this city by storm. It's beautiful here. Lush gardens, delicious food, historical sights. I don't want to come back, no offense. Or rather, can't come back. I have stage 4 skin cancer. This is my last letter to the US. Seize life before it seizes you.
I'm Victoria. I'm Sammy, and our poem is called Heart of Gold. My heart is full of gold. Love is my gold, pure and sweet. You cannot deny the way I feel.
Through my veins,
My blood,
my brain.
family, friends, but especially he.
How could he do this to me?
Shall all share the care.
Till it may pass.
The way I feel is not unbeknownst.
Understood, now pranced upon.
I hate the way it feels.
Inside, outside, throughout.
How should I feel?
My heart is full.
Full of gold.
Climb. You cling to the cold steel of the ladder you so desperately grasp. You don't know how you got here or when exactly. Everything except the ladder is blurred. You are scared to look down, but terrified to look up. There is so far to go. You have the bitter realization that the ladder is slowly sinking down, down. You climb up, 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 and are able to beat the speed of your sinking ladder. You are aware of events happening, people talking, moving, not climbing. You can sense this, yet you are focused on one thing and one thing only. Climb. Always climb. You sometimes feel a push up or down. You've been climbing for so long. You are tired. You pause to rest, but you cannot rest for long. The ladder is still sinking, and somehow you are still climbing. Somehow. You still glance up and fall. You catch yourself only a few rungs down. You cannot fall. But part of you wants to stop. You have so far to go. But you carry on. Climb, climb, climb. This is your fate, but not forever. One day, you will reach the top. In the meantime, the climb will get easier. Maybe the ladder will stop sinking. Maybe you can be a part of that reality you sense, no longer unfocused and out of reach. One day. But for now, you must climb. Just climb. Climb, climb, climb.